Are you stuck on some form of creative project and you don't know what your next move is? Maybe you don't even know where to start. I'm gonna share with you 5 ways that you can get yourself out of a rut. Hello friends, I just need to take a quick second to thank everyone for their love and support on the last video. It meant so much to me and means a lot. We broke 100 subscribers on YouTube. Not a huge milestone in the grand scheme of things, but for me personally, it was really awesome to be able to do that. And I can't thank you guys enough. If you haven't checked out the video wrapping up 2023 and kind of telling my story, you should definitely check it out after this video. You're not gonna wanna miss it. All right, let's get you out of this creative slump. So this video is gonna be a little different. It may not be super pretty, but I got a lot of things to do today, so I gotta get to it. Oh, don't worry, you're coming with me.
How you doing? Fill it up regular, please.
Yes, please. I live in New Jersey. I'm spoiled. I know. So this may seem really simple, but you want to write your ideas down. I carry around a little pocket notebook to where I can quick jot down every single idea that I have, and then I have a bigger journal that I go, and that's where I flesh out the idea. I put down as much detail as I possibly can. You really want to paint a picture in words of what your idea is. It'll help you weed out the bad ideas, and it may take your original idea and evolve it into something better, which is what we ultimately all want. And to do that, you want to answer the basic questions. Who, what, when, where, why. Don't forget about how. It's a way to stress test the idea. You see, this is how we weed out the bad ideas.
Have a good one.
You're gonna write down what? What is your idea? What are you trying to create? That leads us to who. Who is this for? Is this for a big audience? Is this for someone in particular? Is it for yourself? Because if it is, that's awesome. That brings us to the why. Why do you need to do this? Is there nothing out there like it? Or if you don't do it, your head's just gonna explode. And now we're on the where. Where is this gonna go? Is it just for you to store away? Is it for someone else that they're gonna be able to, watch it? Are you gonna put it on YouTube, Instagram, Tumblr? Do people even still tumble? And that brings us to the how. How are you going to create this idea? How are you going to bring it to life? How are you going to get it to your where? And how are you going to finish it? Which finally brings us to when. When do you want to have it done? But we're going to touch more on that later. Which leads me to my next point. Have you ever tried to pull down the Christmas decorations and have an entire year's worth of stuff in your way, and you have to pull all of that down to get to the stuff that you want to? Well, your brain works kind of the same way. So the next helpful tip, if you will, stay creative. So you've already got your idea written down. We'll call this idea A. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it to the side and not touch it, but yet we're still gonna stay creative and do something else. More on that in a second. All right, as I was saying, I knew I wanted to make a year-end video because personally I had a great year. Now, my initial idea hit a catastrophic failure and I was sunk. So I decided to move on to another project, and I shot product photos for a client. And I also shot a spec ad some of you may or may not have seen. While doing something else, something broke loose and I knew how I wanted to do the year-end video. I knew how to execute it, so I made a quick plan. I cleared up more bandwidth to use on my year-end project because I stayed in the creative space. Because the brain's a muscle, right? So like a muscle, sometimes it needs to be warmed up and stretched out before it can start actually operating at maximum output. So depending on what your project is, pivot to something else, but kind of stay in the same ballpark. Play a different position, learn a new discipline. That slight change in perspective can inform your master plan and give you what you need to complete your project, but stay creative. Pro tip, if you need things for rigging or whatever when shooting video, photo, product photography, studio stuff, best place to go, Harbor Freight. You know what? I'm just gonna take you with me. I just got a free wrench set and free pack of AA batteries, which is awesome. Yeah, you can get so many great things from Harbor Freight. I think I spent $35 in there, and that's awesome. Also, this video is not sponsored by Harbor Freight. On to the next. All right, create a deadline, somewhere where you need to have this project finished. It's gonna make you make tough decisions and get you a little bit closer to being finished. That's the important thing, to finish it. So let's recap. I wanted to make a year-end video for 2023 because of the amazing year I had. Now, I know that not everyone had as good of a year as I did. That's not lost on me. I think there's enough doom and gloom in the world. If I could reach one person, give them a boost with the story that I had, maybe a little inspiration, or just move them in a positive direction, then I'd be extremely happy. So I had my how, now I just needed to know my when. Well, it's a year-end video, so you have to release it January 31st at the year's end, right? Thankfully, I took the last week of December off from work. I guess now's a good time to clarify if you saw the video and were confused. I know I said that I made the New Year's resolution to quit my job by the end of the year. Well, that didn't happen. I'm still working a full-time job. So here's the timeline. I had a week to finish the video. I had the catastrophic failure, and then I moved on to other projects. New Year's Eve was on Sunday, and the idea didn't hit me until about 9 or 10 o'clock at night on Wednesday. What I did Wednesday night was I set up the project, I found music, I pulled in all of the footage that I wanted to use. Then I got up early the next morning and started chipping away at the cutting everything the way I wanted it, cutting it to the music. And I had 3 days to finish this. So because of this deadline, I was laser focused, like you wouldn't believe. That deadline gave me the motivation to keep moving. So even if I hit a snag somewhere, I moved on to another section. I recorded all the footage of me, packing my camera bags, kind of the glue to put all the other footage together and create a cohesive story beginning to end. I could have dropped the video on January 1st or any time that first week of January, but I set that internal deadline for myself and I wanted to stick to it. On to the next point. I know my video is far from perfect. Like Peter McKinnon said, done is better than perfect. You're not gonna hit a home run with every at-bat. Do your best. Always push yourself and go beyond your limits. Test yourself, but stick to your deadline that we just set in the last tip and finish. Every mistake has a lesson if you're willing to listen and learn from them. If you can remove your ego from the equation, every project you do will move forward in a positive direction from the last time, because all of the lessons you learned, the things that you wish you could have done on the last video or should have done on the last video, or whatever your project is, you can go back and fix those mistakes for the next one. Remember that catastrophic failure? My original idea, the entire thing hinged on my trip to Colorado, because that was a pivotal point in the year for me. And what happened was I shot some really cool footage there, and then I couldn't find it anywhere. I thought I offloaded the card, and I didn't. And I formatted the card, deleting everything. I no longer have that footage. Because of that, it pushed my whole process back and left me with 3 days, 2.5 to complete the project. So from this point forward, I'm gonna be spending a lot of time on file management. That is an important thing for me to work on in 2024. Also, I recorded a whole talking head segment on my main camera. Turns out, had bad audio. There was a underlying hiss throughout and there was no way for me to fix it. So from now on, I will be making a more diligent effort to check the audio while I'm recording. And also looking back at it, maybe the music was a little louder than I anticipated. It seemed pretty good on my speakers and in my headphones, but now after watching it on YouTube, the voiceover kinda gets overtaken in certain places. I could have found those spots and, adjusted the audio in those areas. But these are all the things that I learned from this year-end video that I'm going to apply on the bigger projects going forward. So whether it's a client project or it's, my own personal project and I'm doing like a short film or something, even these vlogs, I'm going to be more diligent trying to improve upon the last video. That year-end video, is it my life's work? No. Is it my best to date? Maybe, possibly. I'm gonna be able to move onward and upward from this point. All right, let's go wrap this up. So what are you stuck on? I'd like to help you out if I can. Or maybe you have your own methods of unclogging a creative block. Drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it, maybe create a follow-up video. That's all I got for now. I hope you enjoyed your time here. If you did, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can get updated on all future videos and content. Hit the like if you'd be so kind. Stay creative if you want to live. What's with all the baseball talk? I don't even like baseball.